Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the main card fights for UFC on ESPN Blaydes versus Volkov. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the main card. So in our first fight, we have a catchweight bout at 160, Jim Miller versus Roosevelt Roberts. So look at this fight. Roberts is 6'1", Jim Miller is 5'8". Roberts, I think, we have about a 1 inch or 2 inch reach advantage as well. So a significant height advantage and a decent reach advantage. But I think the reach advantage will be even more prominent based on this, like how Roberts fights. Roberts fights very long. He uses reach, good boxing, solid fighter all around. Good, and he's solid everywhere. So he's got good good BJJ, good wrestling, good boxing. He has the reach, the youth, pretty much every advantage in this fight. Except Jim Miller packed a little bit more power. He's more experienced. So you definitely got to worry about the savvy veteran. But I feel within this fight that Roberts, just at the moment in his career, he's the better fighter. He has the better boxing. He has the reach. He's faster, sharper, cleaner. Still got to worry about Jim Miller might try and catch him over the top. I don't think Jim Miller can really take him down or have too much success in the wrestling. I mean, he could definitely take him down, but I don't think he'll have too much success in the wrestling aspect, trying to get the fight to the ground. And even if he gets to the ground, I think Roberts will be able to hold his own down there and get back to his feet. And then go back to just using his speed and using his reach and using his youth and just keeping Jim Miller at distance and picking him apart from distance. I don't think it's a wash. I don't think it's a finish. I don't think it's a one-sided fight. I still see it's competitive, but I think Roberts, being that faster, longer fighter, that younger fighter, sharper, will be able to beat Miller to the punch, outvalue him, outstrike him, and probably clearly win 2 of the rounds. I'm not saying it's going to be like super clear, but should be clear enough that's when these toss-up rounds. I can see one round being tossed up. I see for most part it being clear that Roosevelt Roberts, the cleaner striker out there, landing more strikes, and landing more significant strikes at that. So in this fight, I have Roosevelt Roberts via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the welterweight division, Lyman Good versus Belal Muhammad. So in this fight right here, both men similar heights, definitely not similar builds. Lyman Good is built like he built like he work out and like got nice abs also. But where am I going with this? Let's get back to the point. Lyman Good's the more solid of the fighters as far as physique wise. Belal Muhammad's not a bodybuilding looking person, but it don't matter. It's fighting. But between these two styles, Good packs more power. He's an experienced fighter. He has solid takedown defense, decent wrestling, decent jiu-jitsu. He was a Bellator champion. I didn't get either the middleweight or welterweight division. I'm forgetting at the moment, but he was a Bellator champion. And he's a championship caliber fighter. Maybe not in the UFC yet, but as far as most leagues outside the UFC, he's a championship caliber fighter or actual champion. He is not just a caliber. He actually is a champion or was a champion. So he's at that tier outside the UFC. In the UFC, not so much, but working on it. But yeah, as far as I see this fight, to get off all this random stuff I'm drifting off into in this prediction right here, I think Belal Muhammad packs some decent power here and there. Good, well-rounded fighter. But really what I'm seeing in this fight, I see two solid fighters that are pretty much solid in every area of the aspect of MMA. Definitely not, say, as far as wrestling and jiu-jitsu, neither of them are like the guy that's really going to be taking people down, submitting people at this level. Like, they can hold their own and have good takedown defense against most of the people in this division and hold their own on the feet with just about anyone in this division. But like I said, two well-rounded characters. But like, what I really see is that Belal Muhammad, I think he's a little more savvy on the feet, a little more better at controlling range distance. But I feel like Good definitely packs more power. I think he's a slightly better striker. I think that's where it's going to come down to. I think Good, they're going to be landing. I feel like Muhammad's going to land a little bit more strikes than Good, but I feel like Good's strikes are going to be more significant. That's where it comes down to. I think the power of Good and his significant strikes, even though it might be close in total, or Muhammad might land a little bit more, Good's shots going to be felt more by the judges. Like, when you're landing those bigger shots, packing more punches behind shots, your shots will be seen as more significant. They'll count for the same amount of significant strikes, but what you can't see numerically is that Good strikes will be the heavier strikes, and that's what will win him the decision. So in a close fight, the power strikes of Good are going to be favored by the judges. So in this fight, I have Lyman Good via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the women's bantamweight division, Raquel Pennington versus Marianne Reneau. So look at Marianne Reneau. She's up there in age. Was she like 40? I think last time I looked at her fight, she was like 38, 39, and was like a school teacher and all this other stuff. So she has to be 40 something now. Then going against Raquel Pennington. I don't think Raquel Pennington's the youngest fighter either. I think she's like 32, 33, 34, something like that. Been around the game for a little minute. But yeah, look at Marianne Reneau. She has a solid skill set. She has some decent boxing, especially when she starts really getting active. I think sometimes she'll be hesitant out there and let people outwork her. But when she really starts getting going, she can pretty much box with just about anyone in this division. Maybe not the Amanda Nunes and the upper the top tier of the division, like the highest level of the division. She can't really box up there with those people. But pretty much with everyone else in the division, when she's on, she can strike with just about anyone else in this division. So she has solid striking, solid jiu-jitsu, but I don't think she's physically the strongest fighter, but solid jiu-jitsu, solid boxing, good frame for the weight class, up there in age, but solid fighter. But what I really want to see in this fight is that Raquel Pennington might not be as clean of a striker as Reneau, but she can definitely make this a very physical fight. I don't think that's a fight Reneau can deal with. And also with Reneau not really fighting the best off her back foot, or, taking the time to get into her groove and really start, chaining her combos together and letting her hands go. I feel like Pennington can smother her and not allow Reneau to have that room she needs to really box and get her hands going. Like, Pennington's going to be smashing into her the whole fight, roughing her up in the clinch, and really just making it a very physical fight where Reneau won't really be able to do anything, or the periods of time where she really is effective are going to be limited by Pennington closing that range and just making it a close, tight fight where she's up in her nose and Reneau can't really extend on these punches, or can't even get to really get the timing, her timing going to really let her hands go. Like I said, she might get some moments, but I'm not saying she'll get no rock or no drop or nothing like that, but she might get some moments where she might land a good punch here and there, might land a good combination, but more so, Pennington's going to be smashing to her. Even when she starts getting off, I feel like Pennington's going to duck under, get to the clinch and put her against the cage, maybe take her down, just rough her up. Still see a semi-competitive fight, but I think it's going to be clear it's Raquel Pennington controlling the fight from roughly the start to roughly the finish of the fight. And I see it going to a decision. So in this fight, I have Raquel Pennington via decision. Now to our co-main event, we have in the featherweight division, Josh Emmett versus Shane Burgos. So look at this fight right here. I'm not going to go into age, not going into height. I think they're roughly around the same height. I think Burgos might be a little bit taller. Josh Emmett has a well-rounded skill set. Burgos has a well-rounded skill set. I think Emmett presents much better grappling. Well, not much better, like as far as offensively. Like Burgos, as far as what he's shown, I think he actually was a grappler at first, but I don't know. He came in the game and learned. He was like a fan at first, and he just learned the whole game. But he definitely has a grappling skill set as well. It might have even been his first skill set. But when he goes out there, as far as in the UFC wise, outside of one fight, and even in that fight, it was just a reactive submission because he was hurt and then he submitted somebody. But more so when Burgos goes out there, he goes out there with solid takedown defense, solid scramble ability, and he goes out there to strike. He goes out there to box. Emmett on the other side, he'll mix it in and he'll try to grapple. He got some solid grappling, like offensively and defensively. Got some power. Not the biggest power, but he can land that right hand on you. That's his power punch. His other punch, his left, not the biggest deal, but that right, a lot of power. But how I see this fight, I think Shane Burgos is the better boxer. I think he mixes it to the body better. I mean, he mixes it up at levels. Like he'll go low, go high, definitely go to that gas tank a lot. I think it'll be the bigger fighter. I think he have the better jab. And I think he really just puts Emmett on his back foot with the jab, and then mixes to the body, mixes up top, and really just keeps Emmett on his back foot for large portions of this fight. And that's what I see happening in this fight. I think Josh Emmett, he definitely has to worry about dropping his hands low, because I know that Burgos loves to keep those hands low a lot of times, because I think he'll roll with the shots. And, he'll favor, I'll take a semi-decent shot on the chin to give you a good shot to the body, because I know over time the body is the better investment. Like he'll definitely go there and like take a lot of shots, or at least get hit more than he needs to be hit, because he'll just be going for the body a lot of time, or just walking his opponent down. We're more so worried about putting him on the back foot than really trying to evade their shots. And that's something you got to worry about on Burgos' side. But I feel like it shouldn't be too big of a factor. I think like Josh Emmett only has one real good power shot, and Burgos does have a decent chin. So pushing Emmett on the back foot with the jab, going to the body, mixing high, mixing low. I think over time, the investment to the body pays off for Burgos, slows the pace of Emmett down, and then he really starts to unload the Emmett. I don't think he stops Emmett. I think Emmett has a solid fighter. He's a tough fighter, hard to finish. But I think he definitely starts to slow down after the body shots and the pressure over the fight. I think Burgos starts to take it away in that third round. I think it's a close fight. Burgos probably might lose the first round. He definitely could lose that first round, because his style is a style that's effective over rounds. It's not a style that's going to just run through you in the first round in most cases, unless you're just not on his level. So it takes time. So he might lose that first round. Definitely might lose that first round. But I think from second and third, definitely the third, those will be his rounds. Second and third, like second, probably close, third, definitely be his round. In a tight matchup, I think Burgos takes that third round clear and wins the decision. So in this fight, I have Shane Burgos via decision. Now to our main event, we have in the heavyweight division, Curtis Blaydes versus Alexander Volkov. So look at this fight right here. You got a striker versus a grappler. And yes, at this point in MMA, everyone's a striker and a grappler, but still some people favor some skill sets more than others. Like Volkov clearly favors striking. Blaydes clearly clearly favors wrestling. Even though he just knocked out or TKO Junior DeSantos, he still favors his wrestling. But this is a really easy prediction, but I'm gonna still talk just to add some minutes to this video, or just to, give you a little more to hear, because you might want to, once you get to this point in this video, you want to, I guess, hear more about the fight, and hear some backstory or some past stuff from both fighters. I'm also going to talk about Volkov. So Volkov, solid striker. I think he's like 6'7", fast hands, still really young. He was like the Bellator champion, like 23, 22, or not, probably like 24. And then at this point, he's only like 29 or 30. So very young fighter, long, like 6'7", 6'8", or something up there in the height. Long arms, long limbs, fast, good boxing. Not the most power, not the best takedown defense, not the best grappling defense, but a solid fighter, fast hands, long, good technique. But looking at this fight, why I'm saying it's kind of an easier prediction for me is because I've seen him in several fights. Seen him in the Roy Nelson fight, struggled with Roy Nelson's wrestling and grappling. Seen him in this other guy fight. It was a wrestler that was in the UFC that just got cut from the UFC. I forget the guy's name right now, but it was like one of those more little hard-nosed, gritty fighters. Not the best overall wrestler, but he'll be in your face. Oh, Tim Johnson. Yeah, for Tim Johnson, that was a very close fight and was kept getting caught by Tim Johnson, but found his little moments here and there. Probably could have been a fight that could have leaned him to Tim Johnson, but Volkov was lucky enough to get the decision. But like a wrestler that was going to be in his face, hard-nosed, throwing punches with him in his face and threatening him with striking pressure and wrestling attempts. So he struggled with that wrestling. And Curtis Blaydes is a much better wrestler, especially MMA-wise, than Tim Johnson. Then look at the Chet Congo fight. That was in Bellator. And I think out of anybody that hasn't finished him, Chet Congo put the biggest beating on him. Because I thought Chet Congo was going to lose that fight back then because I didn't even really look into the fight. I saw, Chet Congo was already like 40 and he already out of the UFC. And this guy's a former champion. He's long, he's supposed to be this striker. So I didn't really look into the fight. Like, Chet Congo can get destroyed by him. Or at least all he's going to do is take one punch. And then you look further into the fight and realize Volkov's not really a one-punch knockout power. He's a volume guy. He has fast hands, he's long, he's big, but he don't have power. Or typically don't have power. He has to land that perfect shot to really put you out or land volume. And this is where I'm going with that is basically Chet Congo wasn't really worried about his power. He was able to get in the inside, use his strength, take him down, and really just beat on him, like beat the air out of him. Like it was like an uncle versus his little nephew who felt just because he got taller than his uncle that he was the man now and was going like, I'm bigger than you, I'm gonna do this. But I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, he felt like he was bigger, but he still ain't had that man weight on him, and his uncle just put him on the ground and beat the air out of him every single round. And that's basically what happened in the fight. Like Chet Congo, you could hear the mic, they just put the mic next to him like doom, 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 doom. For 15 minutes, that was all you heard. Just him getting put on the ground and beat on. And I don't think Volkov really has fixed that issue because he still gives up takedowns. Like I think his grappling defense has got a little bit better, but as far as his wrestling defense, it hasn't improved that much. Like he's more comfortable on the ground, so he won't give up submissions, or he won't be just there just getting relentlessly beat on. Well, at least not against a guy like that aren't like Curtis Blaydes and some other higher level wrestlers. But regardless, to kind of get to the point is like I still don't think his wrestling defense has improved. And even if it has improved, Blaydes is by far the best wrestler that he has fought. Blaydes' striking's come along well. And even on the feet, yes, Volkov is probably clearly the better striker. And Blaydes has to respect him and should respect him if this fight stay on the feet. I mean, Volkov does has opportunities. But Blaydes has that wrestling cardio, has the size, he has the pace, he has the strength. He has every asset you need to beat Volkov and beat him in the style to beat Volkov. So I feel like in this fight, Blaydes can just take Volkov down. I feel it's going to be hard for Volkov to defend takedown. Maybe Volkov is able to survive and Blaydes blows his wad. And then he gets some points where he gets like some extended period on the feet. Then he can start put that volume on Blaydes. But I feel like Blaydes gonna fight a pretty smart fight. And Blaydes had his ups and downs, all of them to Ngannou. Like all of his downs to Ngannou. But every single time he got much better. And just like the last time he lost to Ngannou, he has gotten much better. So he's not gonna go out there and just blow his wad trying to finish Volkov. He's gonna take Volkov down, put him in position, make Volkov choose whether or not he wants to quit or if he has enough energy or has enough in him to keep going on. But he's not going to blow his wad trying to force Volkov out of the fight to impress nobody. As we seen with that other fight, and I'm forgetting that guy's name, was like another heavy, little short, fat, AKA fighter. But in that fight, he probably could have finished him, but he just said, I'm not going to go out there and make no mistakes. I'm going to just go out there and keep putting it on you. If you want to quit or you don't got it in you, I'm going to put you out, but I'm not going to try to force no finish. That's how I see this fight. Feeling like he's going to take Volkov down. Volkov not going to be able to do much with it. If Volkov gets back up, he's going to put him back down, be on him the whole time. And on the ground, Volkov's not going to have much answer. Matter of fact, he's not going to have much answer for the wrestling. And I feel like Blaydes just constantly keeps putting him down, keeps putting it on him. And each time he puts him down, he advances further and further on the ground. Then they get in the second round. I don't think it's a long fight. In the second round, he starts landing on Volkov, transition, get that half guard, and start dropping some elbows on Volkov, busting him up, and it keeps raining on him until the ref stops in that second round. So in this fight, I have Curtis Blaydes via second round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for the main card of UFC on ESPN, Blaydes versus Volkov. And as always, thanks for watching.